Hello, guys. I hope you're doing great. This guy is Julius Robert Oppenheimer. Robert, in quick succession, underwent a closed trial intended to destroy his reputation as the most influential physicist in that era. From another point of view, Lewis Strauss, who underwent an ordeal for eligibility, may want to become the U.S. Minister of Commerce. He told the tale of how he first met Robert. Back to Robert. He explained the beginning of his reputation as one of the most influential physicists of his generation. It all started while Robert studied physics in Germany. After finding out that he became absolutely into physics and turned into a prodigy at that time, Jeremy turned to developing a modern idea of quantum mechanics. After years of analyzing, he felt that he had turned out to be a professional in quantum mechanics and physics, so he applied for a job and became a lecturer at a campus within the Netherlands. Hema met Israel Isaac Rabi, who delivered him along with a very well-known German physicist named Heisenberg in 1927. Robert eventually received a doctoral diploma and a professorial degree at one of the campuses within the United States. He then taught quantum mechanics, which had been uncommon in the United States. He also became close friends with one of the world's greatest physicists, Ernest Ware. First of all, Robert only had one scholar, but over the years, extra students have become interested in his elegance and have preferred to talk about it with him due to the fact that the lesson he added became very exciting. Lawrence then invited Robert to have dinner with the others at an event where Robert's brother, Frank, additionally came Robert, met with a lady named Jean who adhered to the ideology of communism. Due to their meeting, they became closer over the years and have become lovers. Robert also met a woman named Kitty, and became so close to her that she ended up marrying Robert. James disenchanted with the marriage. However, Robert nonetheless kept in contact with Jean the next day, while Robert became at the campus. Lawrence told Robert that he needed to be cautious because the Germans had succeeded in making a brand new form of bomb that was believed to have a very powerful explosion and that he could be spied on by the Germans. Due to the fact that he had previously studied in Germany and that he could be considered a hazard or enough to count on a standard named Leslie Gross, got here and invited Robert to participate in a mission known as the Long Island Venture. The purpose of this venture was to make a bomb that could compete with germs, which were more advanced in making new varieties of bombs. Given that America was left behind in terms of weaponry, they were able to lose badly to Germany in Global Battle II. Listening to this, Robert agreed to run the Big Apple undertaking, and he then asked Leslie to make 4 studies. Laboratories scattered no area known as Los Alamos that would be reached by means of the usage of trains and made a small metropolis within the middle of it, specifically made for the people so they could bring their households on duty, which could take a very long time. In addition, the place became appropriate for these very secret studies, and was also a long way from settlements for testing the bomb. Leslie agreed and right away granted Robert's requests for inmate improvement. Robert and Leslie met famous physicists in America to invite them to the mission. Some of them disagreed due to the necessity of staying in a far-flung place for a very long time, but because the states needed their services to win the Second Global War against the Germans, they had no choice but to sign up for Isaac, who turned into ordered to enroll in the Big Apple undertaking, became reluctant due to the fact this task could cause serious troubles, even a larger one in every of which may wreck the arena and lead into a greater terrible conflict. If you're still watching, please subscribe to our channel. It may not a big deal, but it helps us a lot. Thanks. Robert, along with the opposite physicists, at once started the undertaking. But quickly after Robert observed a hassle due to an incorrect calculation, a physicist named Edward Teller pressured everybody Robert thought that Teller's calculation was wrong. Therefore, a careworn Robert went to look for Albert Einstein for assistance. After meeting with Einstein and giving the Teller's calculation, Einstein felt that if a bomb used this calculation, the bomb's explosion would be so massive it could even damage the Earth's surroundings tomorrow. Robert invited Kitty and his 2 kids to live in Los Alamos because he needed to be there frequently for the task. After that, Robert and other physicists mentioned the substances to be used for the middle of the atomic bomb, namely uranium and plutonium, which were anticipated to have an explosive energy equal to 1,000 tons of TNT. However, Teller suggested they use hydrogen because, consistent with him, the explosive power might be greater, and they might get an explosive electricity equivalent to 1,000,000 tons of TNT rather than the higher alternatives advised by Teller. Roberts nevertheless chose to apply uranium and plutonium as an alternative. They then mentioned the version of the cause for the center of fusion to detonate the explosion soon after it. Carlos Fuchs got here to participate in the Big Apple assignment after Robert recruited him because of his moves for recruiting a person. Leslie was indignant because it turned into a totally private challenge, and there could be spies from Russia or Germany who secretly worked there if they had been no longer cautious. Robert agreed and requested that Leslie recruit his more youthful brother Frank and his fine friend Lawrence. Robert additionally went to meet Jean several times without Kitty's understanding. They even had a tendency to spend the night together some days later. At some stage in an assembly, Robert's colleagues boasted that they were no longer making a brand new weapon but a brand new history due to the fact that the bomb would be a huge step forward. One day, Robert got the information that Jean had killed herself in the lavatory of her apartment, allegedly out of despair. However, there has been no other opinion on whether Jean was killed by the American authorities because she adheres to the ideology of communism just like the Germans. After Robert went over his sorrow, he and the others were given hassle due to the fact that their research was no longer displaying any significant progress. Meanwhile, the opposite physicist was in no way responsible for researching the hydrogen bomb, which they determined they no longer wanted to make, so the opposite physicist needed to tell her to leave a task. Robert, in the end, intervened and started overhauling all the duties of his colleagues. Klaus Fuchs was appointed by using Robert to update the teller's tasks and is now not trying to lose the teller. Robert finally allowed him to do any research he wanted and would invite him for a meeting once a week. After the tasks were overhauled, the making of the atomic bomb finally progressed. They started by making the model of the atomic bomb, building the tower for the bomb test later, and also testing the mini-scale of the bombs. Leslie asked Robert to complete the bomb in July. Inevitably, Robert had to agree, even though he had told Leslie earlier that the bomb would be finished in September. Robert came to a meeting attended by several officials and a military general. They discussed the location to drop the bomb on Japan because the Nazis had been defeated, even though the bomb was originally made to destroy Germany. They initially wanted to drop the bomb on Tokyo, but it was opposed because there would be just a few casualties. They all finally agreed to drop the atomic bomb on two cities, namely Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because these two cities were Japan's military headquarters. Moreover, it was estimated that there would be a lot of casualties, and for sure Japan would be forced to surrender. Long story short, Robert succeeded in perfecting his atomic bomb and intended to test it by dropping it from the top of the tower that has been prepared. All the physicists worked together to prepare the test by assembling a smaller scale of the bomb. Not only that, Robert and the others also made several posts with calculated distances for them to see the explosion from the atomic bomb. While avoiding the harm caused by the shockwave, they intended to test the bomb at night so they could clearly see the explosion. Unfortunately, the weather was not suitable for the test, so the trial inevitably had to be postponed, even though it was postponed. They all still had to prepare for the test by checking the bomb periodically, and after the rings stopped, Roberts started the test. One of the physicists was also asked to see the changes in the electric current because the slightest change could be fatal. The test went as expected, and people were very happy because with the help of the atomic bomb, Japan would be defeated and the Second World War would end. Everyone in Los Alamos congratulated Robert for his brilliance in leading the research the next day after the test succeeded and managed to build two atomic bombs with a larger size and explosive power. The two bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Soon after succeeding in making the atomic bombs, Robert somehow felt that his invention might also start another war between countries. On August 6, 1945, the city of Hiroshima, Japan, was successfully bombed using an atomic bomb for the first time. Of course, it made the military soldiers very happy with the landslide victory of America, but not for physicists, because thanks to their invention, many innocent civilians were also affected. America's big victory famed Robert Oppenheimer's name to the whole world. He then went to an event to speak in front of many people who were very happy about his invention. But even so, Robert continued to feel guilty for the death of many people in Japan. He even began hallucinating the next day Robert met with the President of America. At that, President was Harry S. Truman. The president congratulated and won his invention, which managed to save the lives of many American soldiers. Robert told the president that they had to develop cooperation in the field of atomic energy because Russia would certainly try to develop a bomb that was more powerful than what they had. Hearing the explanation, the president ordered the advancement of Los Alamos for better explosive testing and manufacturing, but Robert, who was still reluctant because of the atomic bomb he invented, and the feeling that he had killed many innocent people, made the president angry and sad. The president said that the people of the world certainly didn't care who made the bomb, but who launched it, and indirectly, President Truman was definitely responsible for the deaths. That night, Robert attended a meeting where he met Lewis, who told him that the person he recruited earlier, namely Cloth Fuchs, is a spy from Russia. Thanks to Robert's negligence, he was suspected by the FBI of being a Russian spy. Robert also attended another event where they announced the number of deaths from the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This made Robert's disappointment in himself even greater. After that, Robert met a teller who told him that the discovery of the atomic bomb did not end the Second World War. Instead, it was the beginning of the First Cold War between America and Russia. After his sacrifice for the country, he started facing many issues. One of them was his problem with Lewis, who felt humiliated by him during the trial for the export of atomic bomb matter. Lewis hated Robert even more because he considered that Robert had incited Albert Einstein to hate him when he brought Robert together with Einstein. Therefore, Lewis contacted someone named William Borden to investigate Robert's past, who had been close to several Germans and was also accused of being a Russian spy. So Robert had to go to a closed trial where Lewis ordered someone named Roger Robb to make Robert lose the trial from the trial. It was revealed that not only about Robert's morale, which was disturbed due to the effect of the atomic bomb he made, but also mistakes from Robert's past, such as appointing project members who turned out to be spies the death of his mistress. And so on. Even so that Kitty knew that Robert was cheating on her, she still defended Robert at the trial. Finally, Robert also dared to fight the higher-ups at the trial. After the trial, Lewis presented a testator that he was sure would side with him named David, but David instead revealed that many scientists actually hated Lewis. This statement immediately made Lewis fail to become the minister, after various accusations were leveled against him. Robert was finally declared loyal to his country, but he had to lose access to the project, which made him unable to participate in the development of the hydrogen bomb led by Teller. Even so, Robert accepted the results of his trial. In the end, it was revealed that Robert did not incite Einstein to hate Lewis, but they both talk about memories in the past when Robert discussed the mathematical formulas regarding the effects of the explosion caused by the atomic bomb that he was working on, which turned out to have the potential to destroy the world.
This is Redo Recap Channel. Make sure you subscribe the channel if you want to see more recap of movies or series or anime. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.